I saw myself driving my own car. I was in bed. I've always been a light sleeper. The smallest noise can jolt me awake. A dripping faucet, the house settling, my cat jumping onto the dresser. So when I heard my car engine start at 2:17 a.m. last Tuesday, I was instantly alert. My first thought was theft. Someone was stealing my car. A reasonable conclusion at that hour. I threw back the covers and rushed to the bedroom window that overlooks our driveway, phone in hand ready to call 911. What I saw froze me in place. My blue Honda Civic was indeed backing out of the driveway, headlights cutting through the pre-dawn fog. But it wasn't a thief behind the wheel. It was me. Not someone who looked like me, not a twin I never knew about. Me. Wearing the same faded Northwestern University t-shirt I was currently wearing. The same messy bedhead I could feel on my own scalp. The same tortoiseshell glasses perched on my nose, glasses I was also wearing as I stood at the window. I watched myself drive away. I remained at the window for several minutes, convinced I must be dreaming. I pinched my arm, felt the sting, splashed cold water on my face in the bathroom. Checked my phone, 2:21 a.m., definitely awake. I even called my own cell number, half expecting to hear it ring from somewhere in the house, proving I'd somehow hallucinated the whole thing. Instead, the call connected. I heard the ambient noise of a car interior, the faint sound of late-night radio. "Hello?" My own voice answered. I hung up immediately. Sleep was impossible after that. I sat in the living room with all the lights on, a kitchen knife beside me, waiting for my car to return, or for myself to return, or for some explanation that would make sense of what I'd witnessed. At 6:48 a.m., I heard the car pull into the driveway. I moved to the window, staying hidden behind the curtain. Through a narrow gap, I watched myself exit the vehicle. I, or the other me, looked exhausted. There was a dark stain on the Northwestern shirt that hadn't been there before. My doppelganger glanced up at the house with an expression I couldn't quite read before walking around to the back door instead of using the front entrance. I rushed through the house to the kitchen, determined to confront whatever this was. But when I reached the back door, no one was there. It was locked from the inside, deadbolt secured, just as I'd left it the night before. My car keys hung on their hook beside the door. When I checked outside, my Civic sat in the driveway, exactly where I always park it. But the engine was warm, and there was mud on the tires. I told myself there had to be a logical explanation, sleep driving perhaps, except I'd been fully conscious, standing at my bedroom window. A vivid hallucination? But that wouldn't explain the warm engine, the mud, the connected phone call. I decided to check my car thoroughly. In the driver's seat, I found a long blonde hair caught in the headrest, my hair length and color. The gas tank showed as half empty, though I'd filled it just yesterday. The odometer displayed 27 more miles than I remembered, and then I found it, tucked halfway under the passenger seat, a receipt from a 24-hour diner 13 miles away, time-stamped 3:04 a.m., for 2 cups of coffee and 2 slices of pie. 2. I'd never been to this diner, at least not that I remembered. That night, I set up my laptop to record my bedroom while I slept. I positioned another camera pointing at the driveway. Whatever was happening, I would document it. I woke to my alarm at 7 a.m. No nocturnal drives, no doppelgangers. The video showed me sleeping soundly all night, the car remaining undisturbed in the driveway. I began to relax. One strange night, an anomaly. Perhaps a waking dream more vivid than any I'd experienced before. Then I noticed the mud on my bedroom carpet, a trail of small dried footprints, my size, leading from the window to the bed. I checked the window. It was unlocked, though I always lock it before sleeping. The surveillance footage showed nothing, just me sleeping peacefully, alone in an undisturbed room. That evening, I called in sick to work and drove to the diner from the receipt. The waitress recognized me immediately. "Back again so soon?" she asked cheerfully. "Your friend not joining you tonight?" "My friend?" My mouth went dry. "Yeah, you two were here a couple nights ago. Came in around 3 in the morning, looking like you hadn't slept in days. Both ordered the same thing." She laughed. "You even dressed alike. Cute." What did my friend look like? She gave me an odd look. Just like you, I figured you were sisters. Did you notice anything unusual about us? About her? The waitress's smile faltered. Well, now that you mention it, there was something. She leaned closer. You kept talking over each other, saying the exact same things at the same time. I thought it was some kind of twin trick, and neither of you ate your pie, just moved it around the plate while you stared at each other. She glanced around, then lowered her voice further. And I don't mean to be rude, but one of you was crying the whole time. Silent tears, just streaming down. Wouldn't say what was wrong. I thanked her and left without ordering. In the parking lot, I sat in my car trying to process what I'd learned. I had no memory of that visit. No memory of a twin-like companion. Yet I'd apparently been there, engaged in behavior I couldn't recall. That night, I took precautions. I disabled my car by removing the battery cables. I locked all doors and windows. I set up the cameras again, adding a third one in the hallway. I swallowed 2 sleeping pills, hoping for dreamless oblivion. I awoke at 4:13 a.m. to the sound of quiet sobbing. It was coming from inside my closet. Heart racing, I reached for my phone to use as a flashlight. The screen showed 3 missed calls from my own number, all within the last hour. The crying continued, soft and desperate. "Who's there?" I managed to ask, my voice barely a whisper. The closet door slowly opened. It was me again, but not the same as before. This version of myself was gaunt, hair matted, clothes dirty and torn, still the Northwestern shirt, but now stained beyond recognition. My eyes were bloodshot from crying, with dark circles underneath that suggested weeks without proper sleep. "It's getting worse," my doppelganger said. "The overlaps are happening more frequently." "What overlaps? Who are you?" I demanded, pressing myself against the headboard. "I'm you, 3 weeks from now." I wiped away tears with a grimy hand. "The first incident, when you saw me driving away, that was day 1. For me, it was just a strange experience. I saw myself in the window watching me drive away. That's impossible. It's a fracture. In time and reality, I don't know, but it's spreading." She looked around nervously. "Every night now, there are more of us. Different versions from different points in the timeline, all converging." I removed the battery cables from my car, I said, as if this detail might disprove her entire story. She gave a hollow laugh. "I know. I did the same thing when I was you. It doesn't matter. The car works for me, for my version of reality, even if it's disabled in yours. Why are you here? What do you want?" "To warn you. It gets worse." She pulled up her sleeve, revealing a forearm covered in tally marks, crude scratches that appeared to be self-inflicted. "I've counted 17 different versions of us now. Some from just days apart, some from what seemed like years." "That's not possible," I repeated, though with less conviction. "2 nights from now, you'll meet the oldest version," she continued. "She's not right. Something happened to her, will happen to us, that broke her completely. She talks about the event, but won't explain what it is." A noise from downstairs interrupted her, the sound of the front door opening. My doppelganger's eyes widened in terror. "She's here," she whispered. "Earlier than last time." "Who?" "Me. Another me. She's dangerous. She thinks killing earlier versions of ourselves will fix the fracture." "That's insane. Listen." She grabbed my wrist with surprising strength. "The diner. There's a reason we keep going there. The fracture started there, 3 weeks from now, at 3:27 a.m. Whatever you do, don't go there on the night of..." The bedroom door burst open. Another version of me stood in the doorway, older, hair streaked with premature gray, face hardened into an expression of grim determination. In her hand was a kitchen knife. My kitchen knife. "You can't change it by warning her," the newcomer said to my crying doppelganger. "I've tried. The event is fixed." "Please," the first doppelganger begged. "There has to be a way." "There is." The older version raised the knife. "Break the loop. Cut out the infected segments of the timeline." What happened next is fragmentary in my memory. My crying double lunged to protect me. There was a struggle, a scream. Blood pooled on my bedroom carpet. And then both of them were gone. Simply gone, as if they'd never been there. Except for the blood, and a single tally mark scratched into my own forearm that I don't remember making. The camera footage showed nothing, just me sleeping restlessly alone, then suddenly sitting bolt upright at 4:13 a.m., staring in terror at an empty room, having a conversation with nobody. But the blood was real. DNA analysis from a home test kit, as I couldn't exactly take this to the police, confirmed it was mine. It's been 4 days since then. I haven't slept in my bedroom, haven't driven my car, though it keeps disappearing and reappearing with more miles on the odometer, different radio station settings, sometimes with the seats adjusted. Last night I saw lights in my driveway at 3:19 a.m. Looking out, I counted 7 identical Honda Civics parked in and around my property. 7 versions of myself stood in a circle on my lawn, arguing in hushed but urgent tones. When I blinked, they were gone. The date my crying doppelganger tried to warn me about is tomorrow. Something happens at the diner at 3:27 a.m. that fractures reality, that fractures me across multiple timelines. I've decided not to go, to stay home, doors locked, blinds drawn, to break whatever loop is forming. But as I sit here writing this, I can hear car engines outside. Multiple cars, arriving one by one. Car doors slamming. Footsteps on the walkway, identical cadences, multiplied. My doorbell just rang. When I peer through the peephole, I see myself standing on the porch. Behind me is another me, and another, and another. They all look desperate, haunted. Some are injured. Some appear on the edge of madness. The one in front, the one wearing clothes I put in the donation bin 2 years ago, is holding up a handwritten sign. It reads, "The diner isn't the beginning, it's the only place we can end it." I don't want to open the door, but I know I will. Just as I know I'll get in my car and drive to that diner tonight, joining my other selves in whatever desperate plan they've conceived. Because I've seen the alternative. I've seen the oldest version, the one with the knife and the dead eyes. I've seen what happens if the fracture continues to spread. It's 2:41 a.m. now. If this account suddenly ends, you'll know why. I'm going to meet myself for coffee or to die, or both. I suspect I've done this before.